Today we are going to see the conditional statements. These are also known as branching statements. Okay. The learning objective of this lessons are that after this you should be able to understand about the selection statements. You should be able to understand how to design flowcharts and then how to do programming using Python selection statements. Okay. Now, flow of control. The order of execution of the statements in a program is known as the flow of control. Normally, the flow of control is sequential. Sequential means one after another in a sequence. Okay. But that default flow of control can be changed by using control structures. Okay, Python supports two types of control structures that are called as selection and repetition. So in today's class, we are going to study about the selection. Selection means execution of statements depending upon a condition test. Okay, if a condition evaluates to be true, one course of action, one state of statement is followed. Otherwise, another course of action or a different set of statements will be followed. Okay. In Python, we are having four types of decision-making statements. The first one is if, second one is if else, if else, and nested if. Now we will see the flowchart. Okay. Flowchart is a graphical representation of an algorithm, and these are the symbols which are commonly used. Okay. Now this is the example of a flowchart, right? This is the starting box. Then this is the process box. Okay, this is the input, then process, then output. Now you can see by the direction of arrows, you can understand that the statements are executed one after another in a sequence. Okay, and finally it goes to stop. Right? Now we'll look for the if statement. Okay, you can see the flow chart. Right? This diamond is the decision box. Okay. Now whatever is the outcome of this condition, depending upon that, we will be having the different set of statements which will execute. Okay. In the simple if statement, so there is a if condition, then there is a body of if which is going to be executed only when the condition evaluates to be true. Okay. If the condition is not evaluated to be true, in that case, the body of if is skipped and we go to the next block. Syntax. If condition followed by a colon and then body of if. Okay. One thing you can see, the condition may be, may not be having the parenthesis. Okay. It may have parenthesis, it may not have parenthesis, doesn't matter for both the things. Is it clear? Now we'll see one example. So here we are, the program is to check if a num1 is less than num2. So we have taken two numbers, num1 equal to 5 and num2 equal to 6. Now you can see the if statement. If num1 less than num2, okay, then now you see here, after this colon, the next line is a little indented towards the right, little shifted towards right. Okay. In Python, the block management is done with the help of spaces. All right. So what is at the same vertical level falls in the same block. Right. So if num1 less than num2, print num1 is less than num2. Okay, now this will be the output because it is less than, therefore we will get this output. Now suppose this output, suppose number 1 is not greater than, that means the condition evaluates to be false, then there is nothing to do. Okay, right? Now if we are having only one statement to execute, then we can write it in the same line. Okay, like this: if num1 less than num2 colon print this is statement. Okay, so in the previous example we have seen that only that part will execute if the body if the condition is true, then only the body will execute. But we don't know what is going to happen if the condition is false. All right, so now you can see here in this case, if condition, so if the condition is true, then the body of if will be executed. Okay, if the condition is true, then the body will be body of if is executed. If the condition is false, then the body of else will be executed. Okay, if the condition is true, then the body of if will be executed. If the condition is false, then the body of the else will be executed. Again, we have the syntax. Okay, so we are having if condition, just like in the previous case. Okay, then we have else. Now we'll see in the program about the indentation. Okay, one thing you should remember: the else will not have any condition. The condition will be there only with the if. Okay, condition will not be there with the else. Now you can see the example. If num1 is less than num2, print num1 is less than num2. Else print num2 is less than num1. Okay. Now you please observe the indentation. Okay. You see, this is the 0 level indentation. All these are in the same vertical line. Okay. Then after this colon, the very next line changes. Okay. Very next line changes, it gets a tab. Okay. Then again else is with the same indentation level of if, and then there is a indentation for the next line. Is it clear? If we do any indentation mistake, then Python will show error. Okay, right? Now here you can see the condition is false. That is why the control is going to the else block, right? So the statement in the else block is being executed. Okay, again we are having if else shortcut is there in one line, right? So if there is only one line in if as well as one line in else, okay, so there is another way to do how it is: print num1 is less than num2 if num1 less than num2 else. Okay, that means the statement of if followed by if condition followed by else followed by the statement for the else part. Okay, now till now what we have discussed in this we are having only two cases. Means either this will execute or that will execute. But when we are having a multitude of, when we are having multiple number of conditions, okay, so in that case we can use elif along with if statement, right? Now you can see here, if condition 1, so if the condition 1 is true, then the control goes to the body of if. Okay, if the condition is true, control goes to the body of if. If the control, if the condition 1 is false, the control goes to the second condition. Okay, if that condition is true, then the control goes to the body of elif. Otherwise, it goes to the body of else. Okay. Now here I have taken only two conditions, but there may be more than two conditions. So like that, if elif, if elif, and finally else. All right. Elif is actually a contraction of else if. We don't have else if like other languages like C++, Java. All are having else if. Right? We don't have else if. We have elif. Okay. Now you can see the syntax as I told you. If condition, then body of if, then elif condition, body of if, then finally else will be there with the body of else. And all these things will be a little bit indented towards right, as we'll see in the program. Okay. If num1, num2 are 5 and 5. Okay. Now, if num1 greater than num2, print num1 is greater than num2, elif. Num1 equal to num2, print num2 is equal to num2. Okay. Else num1 is less than num2. Right. Now you can see the indentation level of I, E and E is same. That is a 0 level indentation starting from the first. Okay. Right. So please observe the indentation in each and every program. Okay. Because indentation plays a vital role in programming in Python. Okay. Now the next type of statement is the nested if. Nested if means if one statement is inside the another statement. Okay, that is called as a nested if. So you can see here, if condition 1, then statements, followed by if condition 2, then statements, else statements, and then else statements. Okay. Now we can see if the condition 1 is true, you can see here, if this condition is true, okay, then this statements will be executed, right, followed by condition 2. Now if condition 2 is true, then only these statements will be executed. Otherwise, if it is false, then it will go to this part. Is it clear? Okay. Now you can see the flow chart of nested if. So here is the, sorry, this is the test condition 1. If it is true, then test condition 2. Okay, if it, then statement 1 or statement 2 or statement 3. Right? So like that it may be. Okay. Now we will try to write a program to check if a number is positive. A number is a positive number if it is greater than 0. Okay. This is just one example given to you. Don't try to have a logic that only one condition is enough. Why we are showing two conditions. This is just for demonstration purpose only. Okay, right? Now the first condition is, you can see here, if num1 not equal to 0. Okay, then if num1 is greater than 0. So you can see this if belongs to the inner group of first if. Okay, right? And this else is matching with the inner if, and this else is matching with this if. Okay, now you can see when we are having a if statement within another if statement. Okay, that is called as nesting. Okay, when we have one if statement in the if block, okay, then we call it as a nested if else. Going to Google Colaboratory. Okay, and here we are going to write some programs. Okay, based upon if and else, right? So the very first program which we are going to see is to take input a number and find out if the number is even or odd. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me what is the condition of even and odd? How we will declare that a number is even or odd? Yes, be quick. How can you tell that a number is even or odd? No idea? Even number are those when divided by 2 don't leave any remainder. Odd numbers are those which when divided by 2 leaves a remainder 1. Okay, right? So I am assuming a variable num equal to eval input so now children, this whatever I am typing here in the input, okay, when you will see the execution of the program, at that time you will find that whatever I am writing in the input box will be printed as it is. Okay, this is done just to make the program user friendly. What is the user friendly program? Okay, user friendly program is that program which tells the user everything. Okay, because what happens, we are creating program today. Okay, but we don't know when we are going to use that program. Maybe we have to use it after some time, right? So we should be in the position to know that what program it is. Moreover, the user should know what values he has to enter. So that is why whenever you are taking any input or giving any output, at the time you must specify exactly what you need as an input and exactly what you need as what you are giving as the output. Okay. Now, if num mod 2 equal 0, okay, right? You can omit these parentheses, right? Now you can see easily that the cursor has gone a little right. Okay, if you observe between statement number 3 and 4, right, where the cursor is blinking right now, you can definitely see that the cursor is blinking a little right side. This is called as indentation. Okay, indentation is necessary in Python because Python does not have the curly braces to block the statement. So all the statements are blocked by using spaces. That is the indentation. Okay, so we have to take care that the indentation level is correct. Right. So if num2 is equal to 0, then we can print what we can print. We can print that the entered number is even. Okay. Now suppose this condition is false. So we are having only a binary selection. That means we are only having two choices, either this or that. So if num2 equal to 0 is false, that means compulsorily the other thing will be print the entered number is odd. Okay. So now we'll press Control Enter. When we press Control Enter, the notebook will run the code. Okay. Since it is the first time, as you know, every time the first time takes a little time. After that, it does not take time at all. Okay. Now you can see here, I have got one. Okay. I have got one box in which they are asking to enter a number to check even or odd. The same thing I wrote here. Okay, so I have to check. Let us say 3, 4, 5. I want to check. Let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see the entered number is odd. It is found to be odd, and we know it is odd. Right. One more time we will execute this program by pressing Control Enter. This time I will say 456. Okay. So what it says, the number is even. Okay. So I hope this example of if and else is clear to all. Okay. Right. Now we are going to see the program on nested if. Okay. Now here we are going to see, we have to find the greatest. You have to find the greatest number of 3. Okay. 3 numbers are there, and we have to find out which is the greatest number. Right. So A equal to 4, A comma B comma C is equal to 10 comma 13 comma 56. So these are the 3 numbers, and we have to find out which one is the greatest number. For the sake of simplicity, I am not taking the input. Okay, because how to take input is already clear to you. Right? If A is greater than B, colon. If A is greater than C also, okay, then we can say print A is largest, right? Else print C is largest. Else if B is greater than C, then B print B is largest. Else print So now I'm going to run this program. Little error came, no problem. Okay, now you can see the output that the C is largest. Okay, please understand the logic of the program. At a time, we can compare only two quantities. So A is compared with B. Now, if A and A greater than B is true, then another condition is there. If A is greater than C, okay. So if A is greater than B and A is greater than C, then only A is largest. Otherwise, if A is greater than B, but A is less than C, then C will be the largest. Okay. Is it clear? Any doubt up to there? Okay, children, is it clear to all? Any doubt? Notes of this chapter I am going to post in the Google Classroom. Okay, so you can complete the notes. Okay, children. So that's all for today's class.